I said, no, I'm not going to let you off the hook with this. Okay? So Israel and the people of Israel were cast into captivity. Right? Now, as I said before, right, that a lot of people are Christians, but they don't understand how Jerusalem comes into focus with everything that's going on. Right? Because it all started there. Right? When David took Jerusalem and made it capital, right? Then it came down. Jerusalem is always in focus with everything that has to do with salvation, right down to the end and even into eternity, right? With the new Jerusalem. So he said, Jerusalem, you kill the prophets and stone them which I sent to you. He said, how often would I have gathered thy children unto me as a hen gathers a brood, right, under her wings. I think that's in Luke, it said that, right? And you would not. He said, I came here and I wish you would just allow me to get things together. But you still want to be crucifying the prophets. You still want to be stoning them. Right? You still want to do them evil. Right? And what happened was this then. When David died, he left the kingdom in charge of Solomon. Solomon built a house, yes, as his father said. And the house served to make him get famous. And I guess Solomon got more out of the house than God did. I'm just saying that. The house was supposed to be for God, but Solomon got the fame out of it, right? And that's it. He got more out of it than God got out of it. Okay? Because the house was for God. Right? But it wasn't making any fame for God. You know why? Because the very people who made it stopped worshiping it. I mean, start to use it as an idol. Okay? And stop worshiping the one who was supposed to be worshipped. So how does it help God? It might as well, the Bible says, stayed in the tent. Where there was nothing fancy about it when they were ready to move in Moses' days. They just wrap up the tent and they move. And they go to another place, they set up the tent again. They set the Ark of the Covenant and they worship. Right? They go to another place, wrap up the tent, move. There was no excitement about the tent because the tent was nothing fancy. Okay? So all they had to do was just to worship. Now they end up worshiping the temple rather than worshiping the one who the temple was built for. And Solomon now, his biggest mistake that he made was that he started to make affinity with Egypt. So he married the daughter of Pharaoh. And as I said before, Solomon, the Bible talk about as a wise man, but you can imagine it was a serious mistake that Solomon made that day when he chose the daughter of Egypt, a wife from Egypt. Did he remember that God took Israel out of Egypt? Right? Do you remember that God took Israel out of Egypt with a strong and a stretched out arm? And Pharaoh followed after Israel to destroy them by the Red Sea. Right? And God opened the Red Sea and let them through, and they come to Canaan. Now how dare you go marry a daughter from Egypt? That means you are bringing back Israel to Egypt. Maybe you never thought about all these things. And exactly that did happen. In the days of Jeremiah, the prophet. Right? There became a craving for Egypt, just like the children of Israel in the wilderness. And God is telling them, don't go down to Egypt. Right? Go not to Egypt. Because they, and so, on top of that now, when you go down to Egypt, what are you going to find in Egypt? Right? You're going to find idolatry. That's like when they made a calf when Moses was upon the mountain. Right? You're going to find idolatry. Right? You see? You're going to find idolatry. That's what you're going to find. I think I had a verse here about that. It says here. Anyway, you're going to find idolatry. That's what you're going to find down in Egypt. So Solomon married a woman who her God was an idol. And his God was the invisible God. The one that Ananias, Mishael, and Azariah, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, they will not bow down to that image that Nebuchadnezzar had made. Though it were made of gold. He said, I don't care what it's made out of. It's a lifeless, dumb piece of metal or whatever they make it out of. He said, no, we have bow down to it. But Solomon gave his wisdom away. He gave his wisdom away. And married a daughter. The Bible says he made affinity with Pharaoh. Okay? He started to act like the kings of the world. Right? He was getting more of the glory of this temple that was made. He was getting more out of it than God. So, he's giving a gift to God, but he's getting more there than, you know what I'm talking about. Right? It's like somebody give you something, but they're using it more than you. So, I mean, is it for you or for him? Or for them? I mean, I want to give it to you, but every time they come and they borrow it from you, or I might give you a car, right? And he say, okay, this car is yours, but he's driving it most of the time. So, I mean, who's the car for, right? It's for you have, I mean, so he give you the car, but you have to sometimes ask him, can I have back the car so I can use it, you know? So the same kind of thing was happening. Solomon was getting more of the glory of this temple than God was getting out of it. And his fame went all over the place. Queen of Sheba came to see him, and people knew about him, and his fame all over the place. Right? And his wisdom and how he used to, but he was not wise when he chose a woman from Pharaoh's house to be his wife. Okay? And Israel just went down and down. Solomon got himself caught up with armor and idolatry. The Bible says he had 1,000 women, 700 wives that were princesses. What? Right?